Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for your service to the country. We appreciate your patience here today. I had a college professor who once said the mind can only absorb what the sea can endure. You've been enduring a lot of time. We hope we won't keep much longer. I have one question. It's for Secretary Kerry. And it's not a deference to you that I'm not asking the question. I want to thank you for your service as generals and commander-in-chief. You do a great job for the American people, and you have a job that has a commander-in-chief who is a politician, who is subject to 535 other politicians and your funding. So any question I ask you wouldn't be really fair if it had a political connotation to it. But Secretary Kerry, you and I have served together a long time. You served the country in Vietnam. You've been a great leader for our country, and you know this is really a political issue in part and has political overtones in terms of the AUMF, which I do support. And I believe that the remarks made by Senator Mendez, Senator Flake, Senator Perdue, and others about the need to come together as a Congress and have a meaningful AUMF are important. Here's what I want to ask you, Secretary Kerry. The first president to ever mention radical Islam was Thomas Jefferson and the Barbary Pirates. General Dempsey has talked about this being an enduring conflict and talked about it being evolving regionally and being trans-regional. We know that ISIL is in the Maghreb through Boko Haram. They're in the Levant. We've had attacks in Paris. We've had attacks in Brussels. So it's a growing threat. Here's my question. If in fact we've had problems all the way dating back to Thomas Jefferson, and if in fact this is a growing regional threat, having a time limitation on the AUMF doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because I think we have a united commitment as a country and as a nation to fight ISIL and to defeat ISIL. But as General Dempsey has said, that definition is not the easiest definition to write into words. It's a combination of a lot of things happening together, one of which is an enduring commitment. On the term of enduring, I think enduring in terms of the AUMF means it doesn't mean special forces, but it probably would mean 672,000 troops being deployed. And I can understand that's something the President would probably want to come back to the Congress and get an authorization for. But if we took off the 3-year limitation, so that this was a commitment until we accomplish our goal of degrading and destroying ISIL, wouldn't we be better off to send the clear signal that there is no end to this conflict as far as we're concerned until we win the victory? That was probably a disjointed question and more of a statement, but I'd appreciate your response.
Thank you, Senator. No, it's a very important one, actually, and I appreciate it. And
you don't have to commit yourself on behalf of the administration, but for thought-provoking comments, I'd like to hear them.
Well, thank you. First of all, let me thank you personally, because I'm delighted you stayed on the committee. I see you gave up a couple of seats of seniority to do so, and I well know why you did, and I certainly want to express my appreciation, because I know you'll be a strong and critical voice for some of the things that don't always get paid attention to, particularly in Africa. So I thank you for that. I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, I believe that the 3 years, if they are accompanied by the vote that is necessary here and by the accompanying commitments by each senator who goes to the floor to speak and define why we are doing this and what we are doing, I think it would be a healthy debate. I am confident coming out of that will be an absolute understanding by everybody in the region and in the world that we are deeply committed to this and committed for more than the 3 years. I think the 3 years will be respected, as Secretary Carter said, as a reflection of a kind of political process here and not as a diminishment of the fundamental commitment to achieve our goal. Every country in the region is committed to defeat ISIL, every country. And that's partly what has prompted some of the questions here, because of Iran's commitment to do that. So I really think that the 3 years is more of a statement of respect by President Obama, of personal choice, for him to say to the next president, to the Congress, review this, take a look at it, see how it's going, tweak it if necessary. I don't think he has any doubt about the readiness and willingness of Congress to continue that forward, but perhaps with some, state-of-the-art refinements. So I don't think it's a problem. I think we can deal with that, and I think in order to achieve the vote that's necessary, the experience of Iraq and the experience of Afghanistan Afghanistan, create a sufficient cloud over the potential of this vote that I think everybody can say, okay, what's the matter with doing the, reviewing it in 3 years, but let's go do it. And I think that's the commitment that we need, and that gets us the stronger vote to do that.
Well, I appreciate your response. I would just ask you to take that message back and massage it a little bit and think about what I said, because I think the unequivocal commitment to see it to the end is important to be sent, and I think the enduring presence gives you a chance to come back and revisit if we expand our military effort. But in the meantime, that we have a common ground to get the vote out necessary to send the clear signal the Congress and the White House are united. Thank you for your time and your service.